Yo, what is going on, YouTube, man? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in today. All right, today we've got a special request for Billy Joe, Goodnight Saigon official video. Okay, I haven't heard this song before. Obviously, we know a little bit about Billy Joe to this point on the channel. We've checked out some of his songs, and I greatly appreciate all of you tuning in today. Let's go ahead and read this request off. It says, "Hi, Sean. I've been enjoying your channel for about a year now. I particularly like how you dive into song facts. I'm wondering, do you have anything lined up for Memorial Day? As one veteran to another, I'd like to request Goodnight Saigon by Billy Joel, a touching tribute song to Vietnam veterans. Tissues may be needed. Sorry, but I'm old and technically challenged, and I couldn't figure out how to make a one-time donation for a song request, so I'm joining the Emerald level." Yo, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Kathy, for the support for the channel, the support on Buy Me a Coffee, and the support for the veterans, man. Beautiful. I'm already, we're gonna dive into it, man. Love my veterans out there, man. There's always a bond between us, whether we served together or we served decades apart. Whether you've been through the mud and seen some bad stuff or you haven't, man, we all put ourselves on the line, right? We were all there willing to make that ultimate sacrifice. So I think that's crazy of us, right? It's crazy of us, but hey, it's what we were willing to do, man. So thank you for this donation request. Shout out to all the veterans out there on Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day, man. Let's not forget our brothers and sisters who aren't here with us anymore. Those who are serving now and those who have served, man, for sure. Let's go ahead and hit that play, dive into this one, see what we got right here with a full video. Really appreciate this one. Thank you so much. Don't forget, guys, to like, subscribe, check out the description, and show some love for all the vets in the world and all the active duty service members today. All right, let's go ahead and hop into this one.
We met as soulmates on Paris Island. We left as inmates from an asylum. And we were sharp as knives. And we were so gung-ho to lay down our lives. We came in spastic, like tameless horses. We left in plastic as numbered corpses. And we learned fast to travel light. Our arms were heavy, but our bellies were tight. We had no home front, we had no soft soap. They sent us Playboy, they gave us Bravo. We dug in deep and shot on sight and prayed to Jesus Christ with all of our might. We had no cameras to shoot the landscape. We passed the hash pipe and quit our doorsteps. And it was dark, so dark at night. And we held on to each other like Charlie, remember Baker. They left their childhood on every acre. And who was wrong? And who was right, right, right? It didn't matter in the thick of the fights.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. You gotta.
Held the day in the palm of our hands. They ruled the nights, and the nights seemed to last as long as 6 weeks on Paris Island. We held the coastline, they held the highlands, and they were sharp as knives, knives, knives. They heard the hum of the motors, they counted the rotors and waited for us to arrive. And we would all go down together. We said we'd all go down together. Yes, we would all go down together.
Yeah, the military's man, it's an interesting thing. I can't imagine what these soldiers went through in these different wars throughout our history. Vietnam being probably the biggest one I hear about on this channel, because that's what affected most the audience that watch with me on this channel. I get to learn about that and hear about that more, and how it affected people. So it's important. And like one of the strongest lines right there was, in the thick of the fight, it doesn't matter who's wrong and who's right. And that's so true, because now you're fighting for your life. You may not see the way our nations do, especially if you're being drafted. Does it matter? It doesn't, right? You got an option. Go out there and fight for your country, or go to jail. And for those who aren't wanting to go to jail, they go out there and fight, maybe not agreeing with the cause. But when your life's on the line and bullets are being, flying through the air, well, you're going to defend yourself. And now you're fighting against somebody that maybe you don't necessarily disagree with. Maybe you'd like to talk to that person and actually come to terms with things, but it doesn't matter in the thick of the fight. Now you're fighting for your life. And that's something personal to me. I served during times of conflict with America and, Middle Eastern countries that we were going through. I've served out there on piracy operations. You don't necessarily want to talk about things that you've been through. And that's what's hard for me on the channel sometimes when I listen to this stuff, and I don't want to forget it. And that's why I'm open to listening to this stuff. But it does resurface things, of course, for all of us, man. For all of us veterans that have seen things that we didn't want to see, been through things that we didn't want to go through, lost people that we were close to, or even still holding on to your connection with those who meant a lot to you. Thankfully, I served on ships with hundreds of different people throughout my time in the service, and I only talk to 2 on a weekly basis, sometimes daily, mainly weekly basis. I still have 2 friends that I talk to and that I connect with. And it's funny, though, because we experience the same situations that some greatly affected me, but I think it's also interesting how differently we accepted those situations and how differently we deal with them, 10 plus years after the fact. Where I might be struggling more to still cope when I think about those things. For one of them, you know, they moved on just fine, or so it seems on the surface. I don't know what he deals with below, but it's interesting how these events can hit us differently. You know what I mean? So shout out to the veterans, man. They got to be some of the strongest people ever. You got to deal with some of the most brutal things ever, and sometimes on a daily basis. For some people, it was very frequent. And just shout out to everybody, man. This song's important. It's a beautiful song. I like the way Billy Joel wrote this one up. It's very nice. I like the mood that he kept on this thing. It's really keeping the story up front, right? Not being overtaken by some crazy complex composition. It's a beautiful composition that keeps the story up front. And I think that's important when we're talking about our soldiers, and we're talking about any soldiers of the world, any members of the world putting their life on the line for their nations. I think it's just important to keep the subject as the shining piece of it. I thought he did a great job here. It looks like we had some veterans there on the stage, so that's beautiful, man. The tone, the lighting, his voice, just everything about this was very nice. So shout out to the veterans of the world, man. Happy Memorial Day. Let's go ahead. You can't say happy, you know, but it's a Memorial Day, man. It's a Memorial Day. Let's remember everybody. Let's love everybody that is no longer with us. Let's celebrate their lives, right? So let's go ahead and check out this one a little bit. All right, so we got this song right here, released by Billy Joel, man. Goodnight Saigon, released in 1983, okay? He's got the album version, he's got a single version. You've got the songwriter on this one as Mr. Billy Joel himself, okay? It says it's about the Vietnam War, depicts the situation and attitude of the United States Marines beginning with their military training on Paris Island, and then into different aspects of Vietnam combat. Remember, he was saying, you were losing your childhood 1 acre at a time. That's deep. That's so deep, man. Because as these conflicts mount, as these situations, life and death, you're now kind of developing something else in your psyche. And what he's kind of saying is, man, you got to grow up quick out there. But also, I took it as the trauma now that you're taking on is going to replace some of those happiness, those thoughts. And dude, for anybody out there that has experienced that, it's just so personal, so true that these scars, in some ways, it feels like they can't ever be healed. And that's the way I took that line, was your childhood memories, all those great memories are being replaced now with these scars and this trauma that you will carry with you for the rest of your life. That's the way I took that lyric. There were some very impactful lyrics that he said here, man. The lyrics of Goodnight Saigon are about Marines in battle bonding together, fighting their fears, and trying to figure out how to survive. The singer, a Marine, sings of we rather than I, emphasizing that the Marines are all in the situation together. In the bridge, Joel sings of the darkness and the fear it induced in the Marines. This leads into the refrain, which has multiple voices coming together to sing that the Marines will all go down together, emphasizing their camaraderie. He kind of talked about how they came in spastic, right? You're young, you're wild, you're living your younger years, and then you're leaving in plastic in these body bags. Man, that's some crazy writing. That's some crazy writing that he did here, man. Images from the war captured in the song include reading Playboy, seeing Bob Hope, listening to The Doors, smoking from the hash pipe, praying to Jesus, remembering Charlie and Baker, the company identifiers used in military units, and those in the companies who left their childhood on every acre, many of whom died in the fighting. Joel has said that he was trying to make a comment on the war, but writing about the soldier as a person. According to the Rolling Stones critic Stephen Holden, as the song unfolds, Joel's "we" becomes every American soldier, living and dead, who fought in Southeast Asia. The song begins with the sound of crickets chirping, providing the feeling of evening coming, the sound morphing into the tinkling of wind chimes at night. So we heard the live version here, so I didn't get those sounds, but either way, man, this was beautiful. I loved the live version. Loved being able to see these military members up there in solidarity, singing this with Joel, showing support for his song for the people, right? Appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for this donation request. For sure, I feel like almost anytime I get into a military related song, it hits home with me. It hits home with me, man. It resurfaces things that I should never forget, because those things helped shaped my personality and the way I am today. I should never forget that. So I appreciate you so much. I appreciate all of y'all so much, man. Go out there, thank a veteran, thank an active service member. You know, buy them a meal if you see them out there, man, if you can afford to do that. Appreciate you guys tuning in today, and I'll see y'all on the next one. All right, peace.